Hello, my name is Graham Hamilton and I have the great privilege of being the head teacher here at Firhill High School. Welcome to my introduction to our P7 Open Evening this year, although it's very different from the previous four that I have been part of. What hasn't changed, of course, is that the choice of which school your child goes to for secondary is a big one. You will already be thinking about the challenges that lie ahead and no doubt many of the opportunities too. The purpose of our series of videos that we've put together in place of our normal open evening is to try and give you a flavour, a view, an insight into what life at Firhill is like for a new S1 pupil, and indeed for what life will be like as they progress up through S2, S3, all the way up to S6. You want to make sure that you get the decision of secondary school right, and we are very much aware that you have a choice. There is no automatic decision in your head. You want to be sure that whether we're your catchment school or not, this is the right place for your youngster to come to. I think by the time you've been through the series of videos that each of our faculties are producing, I think that answer will be a resounding yes, it is. Our aim is really very simple, and that's to be excellent in everything that we do. We believe we offer a first-class education in its broadest sense, not simply academic, but in a huge range of other opportunities, curricular and extracurricular, that your children can participate in. Ultimately, of course, all of that only works if your children feel safe, if they feel happy, and of course if they're being successful. Oddly, if you ask parents or you ask teachers, that's exactly the same set of three things that they're looking for too. Now, I could stand normally, this time sit, and tell you about all of the things I believe to be good and true about the school. However, rather than tell you my words, I'm going to tell you what S1 pupils think. I take time each year to sit down and speak one-to-one with as many of the pupils in the school as I possibly can. And I listen very carefully to what they say to me about their experiences of the school. So what I decided to do was have a little look and say, well, what do our S1 pupils say about S1? So 64% of them describe S1 as being good, 10% as fine, 5% as all right, 5% as really good, 5% as pretty good, 2% is okay, and there's a lot more positive words besides. You've got to go all the way down to less than 1% who said it was a bit weird, or it was good and bad, or a bit tricky. In other words, the vast majority of our S1 pupils have a really positive experience when they come to Firhill. In part, of course, because we're able to do a lot of work before they arrive, although this year that's going to be a little bit different, but also because we have a great deal of processes and structures in place to make sure that they really get looked after on the beginning of their journey through secondary school. Some of my colleagues will talk about some of those elements in their videos when you watch those. Of course, those are just numbers. Those are just a summary of the views or the overall feelings. But I thought some of the quotes that came from the S1 pupils might reassure you too. No surprise, a lot of them talk about more subjects, more teachers. I thought it would be really difficult, but it wasn't. I made lots of friends, nice teachers, thought it would be scary, but it wasn't scary at all. Teachers are good, and it isn't hard to settle in. I like this one because it fits with that bit weird description. It was a bit weird. I didn't know that many people, but it was easy to make new friends. People were friendly. Now, these are the words of our pupils, and I think that should reassure you that that transition, the one that looks right now as though it's very big and maybe a bit scary, actually for the vast majority of youngsters goes really smoothly, and they settle in very quickly to the new routines of high school. Of course, high school isn't just about what happens in S1, it is about the journey all the way through. And you will want to be reassured that when it comes time for your children to leave, and we hope very much that that's at the end of S6, that they will have had a successful journey through the school in its broadest sense. You will see our head boy and head girl, Joel and Joanna, speaking to you about their experiences. And I think you will agree with me that they are an outstanding example of what Firhill pupils are like. And there could have been hundreds more just like them, that stood up and spoke about the kind of experiences that they have shared with you. So if you've not already watched their clip, I strongly encourage you to do so. The vast majority of our pupils at the end of their 6 years, and it is 6 years for the vast majority of our pupils, go on to either further or higher education, but many will go into work or apprenticeships. Indeed, that's a growing number. And there are pathways through the school to enable every pupil to go into the opportunity that they want to take when they get to the end of their school days. Of course, a big part of their ability to go on to these successful outcomes are examinations. And whilst they're not always the most important thing, for many pupils they are very important because they unlock doors for opportunities once they leave school. And again, at Firhill we have a strong and very solid track record of examination success. In the year just gone, strange one though it was in terms of what happened with examinations, if you're looking at our S6s, 65% of our S6 pupils finish with at least 3 hires. 54% with at least 5, and almost 47% who leave with at least 1 advanced hire. Those obviously open lots of doors, lots of opportunities, and give lots of chances for them to move on into further higher education, but also, as I said before, work, apprenticeships, and lots of other exciting opportunities. That's a very quick introduction and flavour to Firhill High School. I strongly encourage you to watch each of the videos produced by our faculties, and indeed to watch them yourself as a parent, but also to watch them along with your child. There'll be lots of information, and there'll be lots of our pupils participating, and again I would look to them and listen to them. Normally at this point I would say, and when you go round on your tour of the school, make sure you have lots of conversations with our tour guides who are pupils. We won't have that opportunity this year, but certainly listen carefully and look carefully at the youngsters involved in the videos, and I think they will give you a very good impression of just how fantastic the young people here at Firhill are. So, I'll pull my thoughts and comments to a close at that point. Strongly encourage you to watch all of the videos. I very much hope to be able to welcome you in person to the school in June for your information evening as a new S1 parent. But we will see what happens with COVID and the restrictions. But whether or not it's in person or online, at some point we will get a chance to see and meet each other, and I very much look forward to that point in time. I will have already probably met some of your children, but again, look forward hopefully in June for a proper 3-day visit, or if not then in August when they start at Firhill, to be welcoming and meeting them in person too. But until then, thank you very much for your attention, and enjoy the videos for our virtual open evening this year. Thank you.